Thank you, Mata. You can read the word for word also.
Oh, the sign of a chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord. Namaha, offering obeisances unto the Lord. Bhagavate, unto the personality of Godhead. Tubhyam, unto you. Vasudevaya, unto the Lord, the son of Vasudeva. Himahi, let us chant. Pradyumnaya, Aniruddhaya, and Sankarshanaya, all plenary expansions of Vasudeva. Namaha, respectful obeisances. Cha, and
Translation also, Mata.
let us all chant the glories of Vasudeva along with his plenary expansions Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Sankarsana.
Mm. The very word Om, see how nicely Prabhupada is translating it. Rest everything is like straightforward Krishna's names there, or plenary expansions names. But if you see how nicely Prabhupada is translating it, Om, the sign of chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord. So Om itself actually means, in different ways, Prabhupada has given different meanings. In fact, this itself we can do it as an exercise. What are the different meanings that Prabhupada has given for Om? Maybe somebody can do it. I'm sorry, my health is not permitting to do it myself. Otherwise, I will. I think in Bali Maharaj, this thing, there the Om is represented as a sign of renunciation, sign of giving it, giving something, giving away something. So that Om is also, um it is also considered as the promise being made in the name of Krishna. So there no way of uh, reverting back on our promises. So that is one important thing that we should understand. Like that, even in the beginning also, I think Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. There, as Prabhupada said, for the first one. See, for Om, he translated as Oh my Lord. So those who always think that Om is being used for impersonal representation of the Lord, Prabhupada changes the whole thing. He says, "Oh my Lord," it, in fact, by nature means that it is that for the Lord, it is representing the Lord. Now, like that, a sign of chanting the transcendental glory of the Lord. If the Lord is not a person, how can there be glory for the Lord? So it is very important to understand how Prabhupada is translating this Om in different ways. All these are beautiful meanings, very sweet meanings. So let's read the purport now. Who wants to read the purport?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Okay. According to Pancharatra, Narayan is the primeval cause of all expansions of Godhead. There are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Vasudev and Sankarsana are the middle, left and right. Pradyumna is on the right of Sankarshan, and Aniruddha is on the left of Vasudev. And thus, the four deities are situated. They are known as four aides de camp of Lord Shri Krishna. This is a Vedic hymn of mantra beginning with Omkara Pranava, and thus the mantra is established by the transcendental chanting process, namely Om Namah Dhimahi, etc. The purport is that any transaction, either in the field of fruity work or in the empiric philosophy, which is not ultimately aimed at the transcendental realization of the Supreme Lord, is considered to be useless. Narada has therefore explained the nature of unalloyed devotional service by his personal experience in the development of intimacy between the Lord and the living entity by a gradual process of progressive devotional activities. Such a progressive march of transcendental devotion for the Lord culminates in the attainment of loving service of the Lord, which is called prema in different transcendental variegatedness called rasas, tastes. Such devotional service is also executed in mixed form, namely mixed with fruity work, or empiric philosophical speculations. Now the question, which was raised by the great rishis headed by Saunaka regarding the confidential part of Suta's achievement through the spiritual master, is explained herein by the chanting of this hymn consisting of 33 letters. This mantra is addressed to the four deities or the Lord with his plenary expansions. The central figure is Lord Shri Krishna, because the plenary portions are his aid de camp. The most confidential part of the instructions is one should always chant and remember the glories of Lord Shri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his different plenary portions expanded as Vasudev, Shankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. These expansions are the original deities for all other truths, namely either Vishnu Tattva or Shakti Tattvas.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So this verse is the culmination of all the previous verses. He started off with how Narada Muni was saying we should encourage people to do their prescribed duties, whatever they can, their maintenance activities or prescribed duties, whatever. They should keep doing it. But only thing is that they should do it with karman brahmani bhavitam, bhagavat paridoshanam. So when you do that same work for the service, for the pleasure of Krishna, then that same thing, which karma, which is supposed to create more karmas, it will cut off that tree of karma itself. This is the message he gave. And he is saying that by the way of doing that service itself, doing your activities for the pleasure of Krishna, you will develop so much attachment that naturally chanting, hearing, all those things will become part of your life even while you doing your duties only. That's what he says in verse number 36. And that is why then as we keep doing that here, doing our duties and also enjoying Kirtan, Ravanam, etc. Then he comes to this point where Sakshatkar Darshana, we will see the Chaturvyuha expansion of the Lord first. Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Sankarshana, this four Chaturvyuha expansion. And that is what Narada Muni is saying here. And then he is concluding it with three more verses, 38, 39, and 40. These three are very, very important verses. So let's read the next one. Who wants to read this? This verse is a very beautiful verse.
Can I try, Prabhu?
Yes, Mataji.
Iti mrityurbhidhanena.
Murti, Mataji. It is iti murti.
Iti murtyabhidhanena mantramurtim mamurtikam yajate yajna purusham samyak darshanah puman.
Very beautiful, no? Iti murti. You have to abhidhanena means in the sound form this murti is present. That's why it's called mantra murti. Please read the word for word. You'll understand.
Iti, thus, murti, representation, abhidhanena, in sound, mantra murtim, from form representation of transcendental sound, amurtikam, the Lord, who has no material form, yajate, worship, yajna, Vishnu, purusham, the personality of Godhead, saha, he alone, samyak, perfectly, darshanaha, one who has seen, puman, person. Did I read translation also, Prabhu? Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thus, he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, who has no material form.
Oh, actual seer, Vipashchitaha. Here says Samyak Darshanaha. Samyak Darshan means perfect darshan, complete darshan. Samyak Pranihite Male means completely consolidating all your thoughts and or concentrations and putting it in one place. No, that's called Samyak. Hmm. So when somebody is doing Samyak Darshan, it's called complete Sandarshan. Complete darshan he has got. Perfect and complete darshan of the Supreme Lord. Who has got it? One who can see Krishna in the sound vibration. This is the beautiful thing that Narada Muni is concluding with. This is exactly the same thing he says in the next chapter. It will come. There is saying, Yeta vadutto pararama tanmahat bhutam nabholingam alingam ishwaram. Personified by sound but unseen by eyes. More and more and more we learn to see Krishna in the transcendental sound vibration form, the more and more our ability to see Krishna in every object or every situation in this world will increase. If you are not able to realize Krishna in his transcendental sound form, then our ability will be only in terms of, maybe if I go to the temple, I will see the Murti is there, then I will say, okay, I've seen Krishna. Or some other place where, some worship is going on, that is the only place I will think Krishna is there. But that is not how Bhagavatam has to be realized. The ultimate thing of how we should realize Krishna is that from Bhagavatam, pages of Bhagavatam, is that you should see him everywhere, in everybody, in every situation. Unless and until we get there, unless and until we get to that point, our realization of Krishna will be very, very restricted and minimal. And to that extent, we are not able to realize Krishna in everywhere. To that extent, my ability to tolerate the challenging situations in this world due to all the three different miseries, whatever you want to call it, to that extent, it will be reduced. Because it's only with Krishna's mercy he can face the difficulties in this world. Whatever that pratikriya activities that we are trying in our own way, they will react and they will they will create disturbance in that reaction. It will not simply be just a reaction, but the reaction will be heavily disturbing our mind, our consciousness, everything will be disturbed. So that is why Narada Muni is giving us a very easy way where this process of seeing Krishna in the transcendental sound vibration is not just for the beginning. It's from the beginning till the end that will continue. That is continuing. That is more important to see. That is why this verse is very, very powerful. He is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who has no material form. Krishna does not have any material form. That is why it's called Amurtikam. No more Murti. Is not having any more Murti means that Murti means like the material forms we have, he doesn't have. So they will one may say, no, he also has 2 hands, 2 legs, etc. Yes, but they are not made of the 3 gunas like us. So we cannot see with these mundane eyes or these ears, we cannot hear him. His mundane eyes, we cannot see him. It is said, no, only one who he has given his mercy, only such a person can see him. And to obtain mercy, this five verses process is given. Let's read the purport. Very beautiful verse this is.
What? Our present senses are all made of material elements, and therefore they are imperfect in realizing the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. He is therefore worshipped by sound vibrations via the transcendental method of chanting. Anything which is beyond the scope of experience by our imperfect senses can be realized fully by the sound representation. A person transmitting sound from a far distance place can be factually experienced. If this is materially possible, why not spiritually? This experience is not a vague, impersonal experience. It is actually an experience of a transcendental personality of Godhead who possesses the pure form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge. Would else like to read?
You continue, Mataji.
In the Amara Kosha Sanskrit dictionary, the word murti carries import in twofold meanings, namely form and difficulty. Therefore, Amrutikam is explained by Acharya Sri Vaishnava Chakravarti Thakura as meaning without difficulty. The transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge can be experienced by our original spiritual senses, which can be revived by chanting of the holy mantras or transcendental sound representation. Such so such sound should be received from the transparent agency of the bona fide spiritual master, and chanting may be practiced by the direction of the spiritual master. That will gradually lead us nearer to the Lord. This method of worship is recommended in the Pancharatrika system, which is both recognized and authorized. The Pancharatrika system has the most authorized codes of transcendental devotional service. Without the help of such code, one cannot approach the Lord, certainly not by dry philosophical speculation. The Pancharatrika system is both practical and suitable for this age of coral. The Pancharatra is more important than the Vedantas from this modern age.
Very, very interestingly, Prabhupada in the last few lines is highlighting on the Pancharatrika Vidhi, why it is very important. So we have two vidhis, which are like two tracks of a railway track. One is the Bhagavata Vidhi, another is the Pancharatrika Vidhi. Pancharatrika Vidhi is the basic things where you, for the deity worship, for the process to follow when we do the different appearance, disappearance, etc. for the lords and all that. So there are certain rules and regulations that's coming from Narada Pancharatra only. Again, Narada Muni only gave this knowledge to us. It is what we are all following in our ISKCON and Gaudiya Sampradaya basically. Each Sampradaya has their own systems. Like say, for example, in Tirupati, they follow a system called Vaikanasa system. It's not too different. For example, we are following some 7 items to show to the Lord. There may be 3-4 items in the other places. Or they may add one other item as against what we are doing. So these are just more to do with the technicalities of it. If you had been to Vrindavan, you would have seen that in Radha Ramanji temple, they don't worship all the paraphernalia we show to the Lord in ISKCON temples. You might have noticed that. And this way they show the lamp, that is also different from ours. So that is set up by they are following the followers. They are following the Gopal Bhatta Goswami's rules that are laid down, right? Or if you go to Srirangam or Tirupati or other Sri Vaishnava temples, you will see that Ramanujacharya had given some other set of rules for them to follow, which are kind of almost there. But see, doing the Arati is common everywhere. So how they are doing the Arati, that is what is called technical difference. It's like in South India also you have concept of breakfast. In the Northeast, West Indias also you are having the concept of breakfast. You may eat different items according to the what is available in the local area. But breakfast is breakfast. People feel hungry and they have to eat breakfast. It is what it is. So this Pancharatrika Vidhi is very important, as Prabhupada emphasized, because as we create more and more temples, the more and more we need to be careful that we follow the process accordingly in the temple worship. Otherwise, when we take Krishna for granted, take him casually, then there is every chance that it might upset Krishna and his dear associate. So we should be very careful about that. And as far as the sound vibration thing is concerned, Prabhupada writes beautifully in the last line of the first paragraph. Can somebody read it?
It is actually an experience of transcendental personality of Godhead, who possesses the pure form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge.
So what is actually an experience? This experiencing the sound vibration is actually the experience of the Supreme Lord. You are experiencing the Supreme Lord through that sound vibration. That is why when we chant, that is why when we read Bhagavatam, the Bhagavad Gita, or hear any Vedic mantras being chanted in the temples and all, we feel very excited. Why? Because it carries with it all the transcendental blessings that are supposed that we supposedly will be getting from Krishna's personal presence. So Krishna is so merciful that he has given himself in the form of this transcendental sound vibration, even though we don't realize its value so much. That's why this verse is very important. Iti murti abhidanena mantra murtim amurtikam. We have to do the yajna, yajate yajna purusham. So we do the yajna for the yajna purusha. Yajna purusha is the Supreme Lord. When we are doing yajna for the Supreme Lord, with the help of these holy names, that is called Sankirtana yajna. And when we do this, and when everybody else also get enthused about it, that is when Krishna is actually pleased. So let's continue. Next verse. Now he is giving this one small indication about himself, one small verse, and then he completes this chapter with the 40th verse. So who wants to read before that? Do we have any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
This Pancharatrika Vidhi, they say even Ramakrishna much people follow. But how come their philosophy is so much different from ours, Prabhu?
So much?
Different from ours, isn't it?
No, it is actually philosophy is not different. It is very close. In fact, they are all like the what you call very close only. There is where do you find a big difference? They worship Lakshmi Narayana, Vishnu and Lakshmi as the ultimate thing, correct?
Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and Sharda Devi idol.
Ramakrishna and all don't come under Sri Sampradaya.
I'm not asking Sri Sampradaya, Prabhu. I asked about Ramakrishna Mutt. They follow Pancharatra Vidhi, but their worshipping ways and all those things are so much different from ours.
Oh, Ramakrishna Mutt doesn't belong. They don't come under any of the Vaishnava Sampradayas, Mataji.
I know they don't come under any Vaishnava.
So what they are doing as Pancharatra, they only know. I have no idea. Because as far as we know, their ultimate thing is that they deny the existence of the deity, and they don't understand that Krishna is the ultimate. They don't accept that. As far as they are concerned, Kali and Krishna are equally same. Shiva, Kali, Krishna, Ganesh, they are all equally the same. So that there itself the philosophy falls flat, no? What's when you say Miti Murti Abhidanena Mantra Murti Mamurtikam, then that represents the supreme deity, who is Krishna himself. It cannot be that for any deity that mantra will give the same effect as Hare Krishna mantra and Krishna's form, right? If that is the case, why we should have a separate shastra highlighting the glories of Krishna and Bhakti? It's very clear that Shuddha Bhakti is possible only in pure devotional, only in a Vaishnava Sampradaya where you have the accept the form of the Lord. So when that itself is a question, that itself still a question mark, that accepting the form of the Lord, then there is no point in taking it anyway further. That help, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. I got it. I knew that they were so different either in their prasadam.
No, the thing is, what happens now? This when Prabhupada introduced these things, hardly anybody knew what is Pancharatra. Once Prabhupada made it famous, then everybody thought, oh, if I also tell there's a Pancharatra in my this thing, then I will be more accepted as more authentic. So it's like post de facto, post dated thing that they will go back and say, like nowadays our funny Christian groups in the south, they write Kristu Bhagavatam, they write Kristu Bhagavad Gita, Kristu watches there, and they have such nice, completely in proper Sanskrit. Yeah. They write all these things. They now, because Prabhupada has published it and widely available, our Bhagavatam, so they are using that same thing along the same line. They give some money to some crazy Sanskrit scholar, and they have written something in their name like that. So yeah, so they think that oh, everybody is doing Bhagavatam class, so we should also have Bhagavatam, and that way they bring Kristu also into Bhagavatam. They have also Pancharatri Yodi, for your matter, for your information. They have their own, their own in the sense, because in India, it's the same people who are worshipping our Hindu devatas, they get converted to Christians, no? So they go there and they show the Karpur, they show our Nariyal cow, they do all that. Where the Damodar lamp also they show to Christ. During our Damodar month, you can see the Christian church and all lit like all over they lit the deeps. The one made of mud. So Kali Yuga, anything is possible. After some time, what will happen? Because we are not opposing these things, even if you oppose it, they won't understand. They are like foolish people. But because we don't oppose, they will just keep doing their thing. And after some time, they'll get used to it. People will get used to it, and they will think that, especially there are some idiotic people in our Hindu society itself. There are no foolish. No one. They cannot be any more foolish than these people. Yeah, so they come and question, but everywhere it is there. So you are fake. You have taken it from them. It's true that we are copying everything from the West. So all these nonsense things happen. We can't help it. We have to be appreciative of the fact that Prabhupada has saved us, Anyone else? Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, if no question, may I read this first, Prabhu?
Which one? Next one?
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhu. Please go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Imam Swanigamam Brahman Avetyavat Anushtitham Adhan me jnanam Aishwaryam Swasmin Bhavam Sa Keshavaha. Translation word by word meaning. Imam, thus, Swanigamam, confidential knowledge of the Vedas in respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Brahman, O Brahmana, Vyasadeva, Avetya, knowing it well, mat by me, Anushtitham, executed, Athat, bestowed upon me, me, Jnanam, transcendental knowledge, Aishwaryam, opulence, Swashmin, personal, Bhavam, intimate affection and love, Cha, and Keshavaha, Lord Krishna. Translation by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential parts of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulences, and then with his intimate loving service.
Beautiful. Three things follow in sequence. One is the transcendental knowledge of the Lord based on the Vedas.
Yeah.
Then with the spiritual opulence, we'll see what are those spiritual opulence. And then with this intimate loving service. Next chapter, whole chapter is going to be about this. About these three things.
Yeah.
Let's read the purport, Prabhu. Yes.
Yeah, sure, Prabhu. Communion with the Lord by transmission of the transcendental sound is non-different from the whole spirit, Lord Sri Krishna.
Beautiful line, huh? See, the communion with the Lord by the transmission of the transcendental sound. How many of us, even I'm including myself too, how many of us can realize that when we are chanting the holy names, we are communicating with the holy names? Not that you are communicating with the communicating through the holy names with Krishna, because holy name itself is Krishna. Correct. So when we are actually, that is why it's called Nama Prabhu. So when we are chanting, when we could hear him attentively, then he will bestow his loving glance upon us, and that way his loving mercy will also follow. And when the loving mercy falls in our in our heart, goes inside our heart, then it will rejuvenate our dormant love for him. Then he shows us mercy, right? So that is how this first line is so beautiful. We have to learn to communicate with the holy name. How do you communicate with the holy name? When you do it with commitment and respect, then the holy name will receive that message from us. But Krishna, I'm chanting your holy names with whatever little focus I have, whatever little concentration I have, with full dependence on you. Because without you, this thing, I cannot appreciate the greatness of your holy name. So that way, Krishna, in the form of that holy name, will bestow upon us the taste of chanting him, chanting his names, of associating with the sound vibration of the holy names, or enjoying the association with the sound vibration of holy names. During japa, why do you want to get rid of it as soon as possible? Because we are not enjoying the association. We may enjoy the association in kirtans. In the kirtans also, if all the instruments are taken out, only the singer is singing alone, then we will not have so much taste. So what does it mean? It means that we want so many other things along with the holy names to actually enjoy it. And that enjoyment is actually material enjoyment. Certain extent, because even to enjoy the pure holy sound of the holy name, pure sound of the holy name, we want all these other additional paraphernalias. Otherwise, I will not enjoy it. And then it expands further. If I have to enjoy the Bhagavatam class, Krishna's representation as the sound vibration of the Harikatha, Suppose there is no prasadam there, then I will not enjoy it. So I want this as an additional uh, 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 one condition that if it is there only this can happen. Then how will we do the Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karma Yanavritam Anukulyana Krishna Anushilanam Bhakti Ruti. So the thing is, many times Maharaj used to say that if you get always thinking that we need all these other paraphernalias to enjoy this. That way, if we keep a lot of conditions out there, then this is also like we trying to enjoy many of the other material opulences in this world or material attractions in this world. So Maharaj always used to say that that's why you should learn to chant the holy names in a lonely place where nobody is there. You have to simply hear the holy name and just be happy, joyful hearing it. Or you just sit in a silent place and read Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. Or do kirtans only with kartal, not having too many instruments. Prabhupada always discouraged when too many instruments were brought into the. Said only kartal, mridangam, and harmonium also during bhajans and other things, not during the artis and all. Slowly you can see within last 40 years, we got some other instrument called jambe that entered into the instrument area, and it completely covers the sound of the mridanga. So Maharaj just asked one very simple question. We asked about Maharaj, is it okay to use this jambe and all? Maharaj only said one thing. Look at how you keep mridanga and playing, and look at where you keep jambe, and that will show your difference. So it is something which to many times I have seen devotees, especially the next generation, they are so much attracted to this musical nuances that they don't chant the holy names at all. There are many times I've seen Loknath Maharaj will be playing in his harmonium. You look at the people around, like who are playing mridanga and kartal and all. None of them will be chanting. He'll have to prompt every time. You have to chant. You have to chant. So they are just enjoying the musical treat. So like this, we have in the name of the service to the holy names, we have brought so many conditions or distracting conditions, which are taking us from the essence of the pure bhakti. So what happens is, over time, this someone who has experienced what is pure bhakti, it will fade away in the memories of the coming generations. For them, someone else who is coming and saying with all the contaminated things, he is getting some experience, showing that this is what his experiences. That might be the 20, 30 years ago or 40 years ago, somebody would be experiencing in a much more purer form. But now this person might be, because of the limitations and other distractions, it would have been reduced. The purity of the experience will be reduced. But that will be set as the standard. So nobody would even bother to think of the one before, right? Bhakti Sansar Thakur said 64 rounds. Those days they were chanting. But Prabhupada, when he came and brought it down to 16 rounds, even that 16 rounds is first of all difficult. Second thing is, even if that round which we are doing is like so much swaying here, there, I really don't know if you have to break our sleeps and everything and do those things. So that becomes so difficult. So how do we even appreciate the fact that there are devotees who are chanting 64 rounds, 120 rounds, and 120 rounds, etc. So it will all become just like how when you kill all the cows, you can see them only on the paper, right? There won't be any personal experience of the seeing the cows like that. There won't be any tangible connect between the pure devotional service and the process that we have to aim to go there. This is a very dangerous thing that lurks in front of us all the time, more so now, because the movement is growing fast. But how much of it is going deeper into the roots, deeper into the essence of the bhakti, that we'll have to honestly recalibrate. If we can't do it, then it's as good as saying, well, we are change the track now. Things are, it's more to do with the spreading and entertaining part of it. So there won't be any reading of Prabhupada's books. There won't be any appreciation of Prabhupada's statements here, how strongly he is advising us. So these are all some of the things where we have to be careful about. One line only we read, I think, in this purport now, right? See how nice this line is. Can you read it again, Prasad Prabhu?
Yes, sure, Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Communion with the Lord by transmission of the transcendental sound is non-different from the whole Spirit Lord Sri Krishna. It is a completely perfect method for approaching the Lord. By such pure contact with the Lord, without offense of material conception, numbering 10, the devotee can rise above the material plane to understand the inner meaning of Vedic literatures, including the Lord's existence in the transcendental
See, all
realm.
these things are possible simply by concentrating on the chanting of the transcendental sound vibration. Everything Krishna will provide. Just only one thing we have to do. Connect with the Lord by serving the holy names, by serving the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam sound vibrations. Yes, Prabhu, please continue.
Yeah. The Lord reveals his identity gradually to one who has unflinching faith both in the spiritual master and in the Lord.
Yeah, which
After
verse is this? Which verse is this? There is a verse. Prabhupada is quoting.
Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gita verse? I'm not sure.
No. There's a specific verse from our scriptures. It's not Bhagavatam, it's not Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Prabhuji. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tatha gurau tasyaite katita hyartha prakashante mahatmana. One who has ultimate bhakti to the Supreme Lord and the same thing to his Guru, for him most difficult things in the scriptural this thing, everything will be gradually revealed automatically. That's what means. Please continue, Prabhu.
Okay. Prabhuji, where it is quoted, Prabhuji, doesn't you said the verse, right? So I'll make a note of it. So
this is, I think, from one of the Upanishads, Prabhu. I will
you
tell
can
you.
post it in the group, Prabhuji, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this, the devotee is endowed with physical opulences, which are 8 in number, and above all, the devotee is accepted in the confidential entourage of the Lord and is entrusted with the specific service of the Lord through the agency of the spiritual master.
Prabhupada is giving one by one, step by step, what is happening. Start off with the sound, communion with the sound, that's all. Then see where, till what point he has gone. Till the point that we are inducted into the personal service of Krishna through the mercy of the spiritual master. Only thing we should do is we should do that service with full faith and conviction in the spiritual master's mercy to us. Blessings. Please continue.
A pure devotee is more interested in serving the Lord than in showing an exhibition of the mystic powers dormant in him. Sri Narada has explained all these forms, all this from his personal experience, and one can obtain all the facilities which Sri Narada obtained by, by perfecting the chanting process of the sound representation of the Lord. There is no bar for chanting this transcendental sound by anyone, provided it is received through Narada's representative, coming down by the chain of disciplic succession or the parampara system.
Thank you, Prabhu. Here, the Narada's representative is not from a simply formality point of view. Someone who says, I am also in that same line, etc., etc. Actually, Narada's representative means who carries the same mood as Narada Muni. How throughout Bhagavatam you can see how much merciful Narada Muni is. Throughout Bhagavatam he will appear and he will keep on appreciating Narada Muni's mercy to us. Right? So that is how we are always enlightened by the mercy of our great souls. So anyone who calls themselves as Narada Muni's representative must have some qualities of Narada Muni at least being exhibited. He should be able to exhibit it. Without that, he cannot go around and say, I am also giving Bhagavatam, I am also giving Bhagavad Gita, I am also doing this, doing that. End of the day, it's of no use. Because we cannot pretend for a long time. The cat will be out of the bag. Our ways should be revealed soon, easily.
True.
Krishna has to simply just send one small fever to you, or small some inconvenience to you, or something which is unexpectedly opposite of what you were expecting. That's it. All our we can speak big things, but unless and until we are on the ground with the situations that there's karma and the Supreme Lord throwing it in front of us, it's very difficult to create that impact in others' life. This is very important. The next verse you will see in our next session, because that verse requires lot of meditation, deeper meditation. So it may not be possible to do it. The current time is almost over, and we will do this maybe on Sri Krishna willing Wednesday if we get to meet. At that time we'll do that verse and we will end the chapter then. But any questions, comments before that? Propose Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Here, listed populations which are 18 number. So
Your voice is not very clear, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Now you are able to
better.
hear?
Yes, better.
Yeah. Mystic opulences which are 18 number. So are these the Ashtasiddhis or what are these opulences, Prabhu?
See, these opulences are listed in the 11th canto, Mataji. Okay. They are just a side effect of whatever we are doing. Like this, all this anima, lagima, mahima, that. And then there are many more sub categories in that. Krishna explains all of them. And he also ends saying those who are into pure devotional service, they will not care for all these things. It's insignificant for them. So, but the real opulence, this Prabhupada is saying here, no? These are in the translation, Narada Muni is saying here, it's inculcated in the confidential part of the Vedas, then with the spiritual opulences, and then with this intimate loving service. That spiritual opulence is nothing but developing a distaste for anything that is material in nature, that is just for self-gratificatory things, etc. And then developing a genuine renunciation and detachment with whatever material opulence or anything that may be. So the complete satisfaction and genuine distaste for anything, any sense gratificatory things, that is the real spiritual opulence.
Spiritual opulence. Absolutely, sir. So when we
Otherwise,
develop this unflinching faith, both in spiritual master and in the Lord, then so this is the reward. We develop the taste for the holy name. For yeah, it's the God.
Yeah, that's the thing. When spiritual master says that you just take this beat, chant this Hare Krishna mantra, this will save you from all difficulties in this life, and also will make your life perfect. You will attain the lotus feet of Krishna simply by holding these beats and chanting daily. That is a service that we do to our spiritual master. To the extent we have the faith of the spiritual master's words, to that extent our concentration or our service, seva bhav towards the holy names will be there, will increase. Otherwise, it will be a courtesy round. Courtesy round, people also can say, I do my 16 rounds. There's really one who wants to improve in his chanting the holy names, he will also say, I'm struggling to chant my 16 rounds. Krishna knows. He doesn't want us to see only when you chant perfectly, I will be able to accept your offering. Krishna is looking at how much we are willing to struggle, put in the hard yards, struggle through the face. You say, okay, I'm feeling sleepy, Krishna, but I want to beat the influence of the material energy and somehow or other sit and chant. Please help me. That Krishna likes. So we need to try to give that much importance to the holy names and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, especially in the sound vibration form. Then we'll be the iBugs, the bona fide, what do you call that? Heir apparent of all our spiritual masters. Thank you, Mataji. Piyush Prabhu, yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, I can hear you.
Yes. Prabhuji, जैसे we chant and hear the holy name.
Correct.
So that you think you said that we should learn to talk with the holy name because he is not different from Krishna.
Correct.
So when we chant like it's just hear, we focus on just hearing. So talking means is literally what does it mean that we reciprocate with means talk with more clarity. I want to.
Talk means when you pray to the Lord, it is a talking, right? So you pray to the holy name while chanting. That please help me focus on your. Please help me focus on your. On you. Please help me focus on you. There are some nice prayers in some books on the holy names. I used to enjoy chanting them every day. Just give me 1 sec. I will get it for you. I will show you nicely it is mentioned. One second ago. There's a book I used to enjoy reading, Art of Chanting Hare Krishna. There's somewhere the prayers will be there. Prayers and the holy name. See. Reciting the prayers before each round, 1 or 2 prayers before each round. They are also talking. Then you can also say here is that? A sadhaka's prayer to the Sri Nama Prabhu. O Sri Nama Prabhu, O adorable Lord of compassion, all glories to you, my dear Lord Krishna. Please give me inner strength to resist temptation. Please melt my false ego, which is harder than diamonds. Please help me understand, and I always remember your blissful transcendental pastimes. Please engage my body, mind, and words in your service. This kind of a prayer, it is actually talking to the holy names, the Nama Prabhu, no? Oh Harinama is a nice verse in Namashtakam. Nikila Shruti Mauli Ratnamala Yuti Nirajita Pada Pankajanta Ayi Mukta Kulair Upasyamanam Paritas Twam Harinamas Sansrayami. Oh Harinama, the tips of the toes of your lotus feet are constantly being worshipped by the glowing radiance emanating from the strings of gems known as the Upanishads, the crown jewels of all the Vedas. You are eternally adored by liberated souls such as Narada and Sukadeva. O Harinama, I take complete shelter of you. You know, like these prayers, if you remember and chant, that is like talking to the holy names. Like this, there are many which I used to read them and used to enjoy them, because when you chant that prayer and then chant, you will immediately see a big, huge, significant difference in our concentration level of the holy name. Concentration is not a mechanical thing. It comes from when Krishna is happy with our seva, with our endeavor, then he gives it, right? So,
is it possible to share a few prayers in our group, Prabhu?
yes, Mataji, there are many such things here. Especially there is one full section called see, this is a nice one, ending prayer. Saying, upon finishing 16 rounds of japa, one should not immediately get up and run through the day. Sit quietly for at least 5 minutes. Close your eyes and fix the dazzling form of Radha Shama in your mind while reflecting upon their infinite sweet love and compassion. You belong to them and they belong to you. Offer a short personal prayer to Radha Shama, your own deity, or to the Srinama Prabhu. Afterwards, offer obeisance to Sri Nama Prabhu and your spiritual master, then execute your prescribed duties. So he's telling one sample prayer. O most beautiful and merciful Radha Shama, please accept this offering of japa, which I tried my best to chant for your pleasure. Please forgive me for all my offenses and inattention. Please engage me only in your service and teach me how to increase my attachment and love for you. Please protect me from Maya. Please help me remember your beautiful names, forms, and pastimes throughout the day. These kind of verses are very, very sweet, you know.
Very nice, Prabhu. Wonderful. Yeah.
Many such things are
Prabhuji,
there. Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, during chanting, before chanting, or end at the end, or every some rounds of chanting, we do such these prayers.
Anything that is no, not in the middle of the chanting. Before you say Sri Krishna Chaitanya, then before starting the Hare Krishna, you can chant one prayer. You can sing the beauty of the Lord like Kasturi Tilakam or Ananta Kandarpa Kala, something like that you can sing. And then that singing that verse, not mechanically but lovingly, will help us in that particular mood, you know, in that particular chanting. So that way it makes it not mechanical but more lively.
Okay.
Many such things are there. And like this, there are many books are written which are all very sweet and good for holy names. I think it helps. Thank you for that question, Piyush Prabhu. It helped me. Let's see. Srinam Prabhu, sorry, Shiva Prabhu, you raised your hand.
Prabhuji, there is also Namamrita book. Maybe we can.
But that is
try to see
Namamrita
what
book is actually all the quotes
the
of
benefits of-
Prabhupada. All
Yes,
the quotes of Prabhupada from his various lectures where he glorifies the holy names. It's a collection of all of those, and that's also a very famous book. So that book also we can, I think you have shared it in the group. So like this, you know, we can take whichever thing that helps us in doing our service more and more enthusiastically, we should be doing. There's no point reading hundreds of books, but just take one book, two book, but do it thoroughly. like how we do our one book we take also, we don't go rush and finish it off. That I will build a book, a temple. That book we have been going on for a while, right? We don't go with this aim of okay, we should finish it before this end of this year. That is not our aim. Even if we read one line, we should enjoy it thoroughly. We should relish it so thoroughly that we should appreciate how much effort Prabhupada has put in, how much all the devotees have put in, how much effort Swami Giriraj Maharaj had put in to get that book in front of us. Like that, so many are there. We should not have this feeling that, oh, I should finish all of them. I should finish all of them. That means then it will become like a courtesy service. That will not work. That will never work. For Krishna, even if you do the smallest service, do it properly. Do it only for his pleasure. Do not for any of our the fruity mentality that we want. We don't want to be called as a group which is reading very seriously this book. I don't know. Many of them actually, when I was traveling around, I found that many of them realized that so much is in there that they were keeping it at home, not reading it, or whichever book they got it, they gave it as gift to someone else. So then they had to get another copy for themselves.
Good.
So this books especially have to be read and enjoyed. Then especially the ones written on the glorification of Krishna and Prabhupada, I should all be appreciated. Thank you for that. Nice point towards the end of Piyush Prabhu. And, we will see what is the real opulence that he's talking about. Then with the spiritual opulences. So if you read the next chapter, seeing what is Narada Muni's life story that he is going to describe, right? Next chapter will be very interesting as you go along. Every verse will be really interesting. The beauty is that when you read the next chapter, you will be going through so much trouble. You will be wondering where is the spiritual opulence in this? Whatever we had, that also he lost after doing bhakti. So where is the real opulence there? What is that spiritual opulence you see? It's really sweet. We'll stop here, Prabhu's Matajis. Thank you so much for joining in. We'll try to have a Prabhupada story, Prabhupada Smaranam next, either tomorrow or Monday. We'll try. Most probably, it will be better to do it tomorrow. But anyway, we'll see. I will let you know. Thank you so much, Prabhu Mataji. Hare Krishna, Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam Jai, Srila Prabhupada Jai, Srila Gurudev Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vijay, Nitai Gaur, Pramanande, Hari Hari Bhagwan Chakramatara Vyascha, Krupasanta Vyascha, Patidanam, Bhavnebhyo, Vaishnavyo Namah. Thank you so much. We'll see you all soon.
Please take care of your health.
Thank you, Prabhuji.